Hello everybody. I am going to do a very quick tutorial on just how to set up a Zoom learning session. And this is particular for our school and our online didactics that we're doing for our medical students. So you can see that I just started sharing my screen here. I'm going to click into slideshow mode so that we can go over this all together. So here we are at zoom.us. You're going to log into your account. Once you're there, you'll click on My Account, and that'll open up your main screen. From this main screen, you're going to go to Meetings. So we're going to start with just the basic setup of how I recommend that you set up your meetings. From your meetings, you'll click on Schedule a New Meeting, and then you'll be brought to this page where you will put in the topic for your meeting, you'll put in the date and the time, make sure that the time zone is accurate. These are my recommendations for how you set up the meeting. You have the meeting ID generate automatically as opposed to using your personal meeting ID. That makes it a little bit more secure. That you require a meeting password, ideally a password that you're coming up with, or you could use their auto-generated passwords. I recommend turning the videos for hosts and participants both on, allowing audio from both telephone as well as computer audio. And then my recommendation for the meeting options is to mute participants upon entry and record the meeting automatically, and I prefer to record it in the cloud so I don't get all of this huge files left up in my computer. And that may depend on what type of Zoom account you have and how much availability you have for that. You'll note that I did not click on enabling the waiting room because I find it challenging when I am doing a session with 100+ learners. I find it very challenging to manage the waiting room as well as to move through the learning session. So I choose not to enable the waiting room. Once you hit save, you'll be able to review all of what you put down for your meeting. So you can review the topic, the title that you chose, the date and the time, again, checking the time zone. You'll get that auto-generated meeting ID, the meeting password, and then you can make sure that all of your settings are what you want so that the host and participant videos are on, that people can join the audio by both telephone and computer. I enable join before host, but you don't have to enable that one. You can have them wait until you're there. Muting participants upon entry, I find as an important way to just limit that background noise, although I'll show you how in a session you can mute everybody pretty quickly, and then recording the meeting in the cloud. Once you are satisfied that all of this looks okay and you don't need to edit it anymore, then you can copy the invitation. Zoom invitations are huge and long and all-encompassing, and you actually don't need all that information. The only information that you really need to share with your learners are the title of your presentation, the date and the time, and then the meeting ID and the password. You'll see I have highlighted in here the link for the web profile for the meeting. You don't even need that, just the meeting ID and the password, because when they go to their Zoom app, they're going to click on join, they're going to put in the meeting ID, they're going to enter their name, and then it's going to prompt them to give the password. So they get the password and be able to go right in. For everybody who's joining a Zoom session for the first time, they'll get this prompt. If you want to join with the computer audio or if you want to call in and do it, I recommend, especially if it's one of your first time presenting, that you make sure that you test your speaker and your microphone just to make sure that the sound quality is okay, so that you can test that ahead of time before the learners get there and then have to troubleshoot while people are waiting. Once you've set that up, you can have it automatically join the audio by the computer every single time, and so you won't get prompted for that anymore. When you are ready to start your own meeting, you can go to the Zoom app or you can go to zoom.us in a browser. So you would click on the meetings and then find the meeting that you want to start. and then click on start, and your meeting's going to go ahead and get started. Excuse my frozen image here. I just want to show you some of the ways that I set up a meeting before the learners get there. First of all, making sure that it's recording. Know at any time you can pause the recording or stop the recording at any time during the session. Down at the bottom, you can mute and unmute yourself. You can stop your video and start your video, and those are really easy, just one clicks. And then up at the top, that little picture there is going to give you your view. So you can do just the speaker view, where whoever's talking is the only person that you can see on your screen. You can do the thumbnail view, where the speaker is the larger highlighted person, and then there are just a few participants who are thumbnails, either down at the bottom or along the side of the screen. Or you can do gallery view. My favorite is gallery view, especially when you have a large number of learners there, so that you can see everybody and help to just kind of follow along and make sure that people are able to see what you want. This image actually comes from Zoom's technical training site, but this is what that gallery view looks like, so you can take a good peek at everybody. And now let's say that you're running an interactive session and you want to call on people. So you call on a learner and you want to make sure that everybody else is able to see what that learner is saying or is able to watch that learner's video. You can actually spotlight their video. So this is again from Zoom support. So this is just copy and pasted directly from their website. But to spotlight a video, you hover your mouse over the participant that you want to spotlight, and then you click on Spotlight Video, and then suddenly that person's image comes large on everybody else's screen, and they could still see thumbnails of other people, but then you know that everybody is following along with the same thing. And then you can turn off the spotlight as well pretty easily, just with a one click. So now we'll go back to just our setup. So for the basic setup, I always recommend opening up the participant window. So that's going to give you that panel along the side where you can see the list of all the participants. In that panel, you'll be able to see pretty easily that you can, with one button, mute everybody with mute all, or say you want to ask a question and you want to hear what people have to say, you can unmute everybody with just one click, which is unmute all. If you click on this More button on the side of that participant panel, you'll see that you have even more options. So you could allow the participants to unmute themselves, which is my preference. So, anybody who wants to answer this question, you can let them answer it as they feel comfortable. Allow them to rename themselves if they want to. You can enable a waiting room later on if you want to. So you have lots of options available to you. And then once again, just in terms of basic setup, I like to click on the participant box so I can see the participants in the panel. And then I also like to click on the chat box. And so then I can see any questions that learners are typing in or any comments that people have. So I can follow along with that even as I'm presenting. And then let's say I want to share my screen, so I want to share a PowerPoint like what I'm doing now or some sort of presentation. I would click on Share Screen. That is going to give you this image, and so you can choose which screen you want to share. So you can see you have a bunch of different options. I really like using the whiteboard feature. That's just a nice plain whiteboard. You can either type in with text, you can draw, you can do a bunch of different functions with their whiteboard feature. For this, I would click on the PowerPoint presentation, making sure that it's the PowerPoint that I want to be presenting, and then click on that and share the screen. Click Share down at the bottom. One thing that I want to note is that there may be times when you are presenting a PowerPoint presentation, but then you want to also show them, something that is online. So if you're going to toggle between a presentation and something that's online, or say a Word document and a PowerPoint presentation, you want to make sure you go back to the share screen and that you have highlighted the correct screen that you want to share. Otherwise, the participants won't follow along with you, even though you can change your screen. So you give your presentation, everything goes great. At the end of it, you're going to click End Meeting. You're going to click on End Meeting for All, and your meeting will be over. Now you want to find the recording so that you can share it with those people who maybe weren't able to be there or want to be able to review it again. You would again go back to your account, and you can either do this through the Zoom app or through the zoom.us. Click on recordings along the side, choose the meeting that you want, and then click on that meeting. So anything that's highlighted, so say this one from today, that's the one that I want to look at. I'm going to click on that. That's going to take me to this recording section, and from here I can either watch the video directly by clicking on that little play icon. I can download the video and then I can either upload it somewhere if I wanted to, or I can share the video, and I'll show you what happens when you click share. When you click share, you have a bunch of different options. You could share it publicly and then just make the link available, and then anybody who has that link would be able to watch your video from the cloud. You could password protect it if you wanted to. Yeah, so you have a bunch of different options, which makes it really nice and really easy. So that is my very quick tutorial. Hopefully it will help you. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any other questions. Thank you so very much, and have a wonderful day.